Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the German Diplomatic Disaster series, next one in line. We had rolled weather before we ended the last turn, and lo and behold, the rains didn't come in October in Russia. The cold zone is fair, and is poor in the mild and the warm zone. So, we will get right on into it here. No one declared war on anything. Go into the economy phases. And I had chipped away at some of the Russian factories last turn. So, while Germany gave one to Romania. Russians are at 22 and the British are at 20. Go into strategic warfare. The Germans are at 0. The Russians are at 2. The Germans rolled a 1. Russians rolled a 5 plus 2 is a 7, so Germans lost a factory. And then we go to the other side where the Germans are plus 2 and the UK is at 0. And why did we jump up here? Oh, I played the German submarines because I wanted to get my factory back. So I rolled an 8. And it didn't matter what he would roll. He could roll a 6. Halved would be a 3. With my 8, he's going to lose a factory. So German get their factory back, and the UK goes another lost factory. And then I get my subs right back the very following turn. So not the turn track. Not that either. There we go. So now we go to strategic movement. And this is what I would call a shenanigan move here. I take the strategic movement marker off the guy that was in the swamp, put it on the Nor that's in Bremen, and move him there. And what that does is it guarantees that I'm going to be able to cut off this 30th Army that he has. And so I know I'm going to kill at least one Russian army. The West, I don't think had one. The Soviets... picked up the guy that was up east of Leningrad and moved him down into the forest outside in front of Leningrad. And we go to Axis operations. So, and here, I believe we're doing airplanes at this point. I had to make sure I could reach and where he could reach. So he went after this airplane. I'm at -2, he's at -4. I rolled a 6 -2, which is a 4. So I get 2 sorties on him with only 1 sortie on myself. Then we went to the northern airplane. The 5 -2 is a 3. And he rolled a 1 again, so I got 2 for 1 there. So, looking good already. And then this airplane couldn't reach his airplane up there to the north. So I was kind of just stuck. So first thing I did, I think I activate 1st Panzer, move 2 up, and attack we go to combat commitment. He did not, and I did. I threw in my airplane. So I became a +5 to his +3. I'm attacking that unit there in the swamp. So I only rolled a 6, but he managed to roll a 1. So he was retreated and flipped, and I said that's just too good of a thing. So I'm attacking again at +3 to -2. He chose I couldn't commit anything, so it was just up to him. He did throw a tanks to bring him up to 0. I rolled a grand total of 4, and he rolled a 6, so I was done. So then I said, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's a 0 to -2, and he did not want to spend another tanks. And I rolled a 6, and he rolled a 2, a 1. -2 is a 1, which is a DD, so he is eliminated. I do not take the hex. I didn't want to stick the Romanians out there. Or did I? No, I didn't. Then I activated the Africa army, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's 4, 5 into this hex. 6, 7, 8 to there, 9, 10. And I take Sevastopol. Got rid of the fort. I can't really hold Sevastopol because I don't really have supply line because I don't hold up an Ostrich. But I did take away that, and by taking away the fort, it makes it much easier come 42 if he decides to take it back. He's basically going to be sacrificing a will point and a ground unit to hold it, and even an infantry unit can take it because he'll be isolated. So then I went ahead and attacked up here at Kiev, trying to see what I can get. Did we go to combat commitment? Yes, we did. And he did not again. I don't know what he was saving it for. He saved his armored for that. So again, I'm at +5 to 0. I rolled an 8. He rolled another 1, which is a DD, and he's flipped and retreats. I'm not sure if that's the right place to retreat. I might have retreated into the swamp across the river. But, yeah. So then I went ahead and attacked again. Setting my movement points right. And I'm a +3 to a -2. I don't have anything to commit. He chose not to. I rolled another 8, and he rolled a 1, so he is eliminated. So that's another will point. I get to take the hex, and trying to figure out where he could retreat to, and I'm like, oh, if he retreats on that side of the river, I can attack him with infantry then and possibly ruin his day. So I went ahead and attacked. +4 to 0 again, he didn't play. I rolled a 9, he rolled a 1. That's actually a defender eliminated. So I take the hex. I was trying to think if I should take the hex or not, and then I said, no, I think I'm just going to sit there. I was worried about him being able to somehow cut me off and isolate me, and I just didn't want to take the chance. This army moves 1, 2, 3, 4, and then goes 5, 6, 7 against the 25th. I end up at a net +3 to his 0. We both can commit at this point. We have tanks. We both chose not to. And we go on. I only rolled a 4. Again, he rolled a 1. He cannot retreat because you can't retreat into an enemy-controlled city, and I have zones of control everywhere else. That's why he's isolated. So he got flipped, but I can't attack anymore with him. So I activate this infantry, move 1, and then 2, 3, 4. Again, it's +3 to -2. He doesn't We definitely have to go through the mechanics, but it's kind of like foregone conclusion he's not going to, and I'm not going to waste the resources there. I got a 9, which means at -2, no matter what he rolls, he's going to fail. And there's another guy that goes. I have 4 movement points left, and I was trying to figure out what to do with the bloody infantry. I think I went 1, 2, 3. So he moved away, and then I went 4. And the idea here was now I have another guy isolated, so maybe I can kill another army. So I'm out to kill as many Russian armies as I can get away with. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have left him in the south and just let this army get away, but not what I chose to do. Then the 14th goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm attacking, so I only have 2 movement points left, but he has no retreat routes. I'm only +2 to 0. Did have combat commitment. Neither one of us committed. I rolled a 7 and he rolled a 3. 5 + 2 is a 7. He rolled a 3. So he's retreated, but he can't retreat because Dupnostric is already occupied, so he's flipped. And then I'm +2 to -2. No, I think we just both said no way that either one of us would waste stuff. I rolled a 3 + 2, which is a 5. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to fail to take him. He rolled a 5, but because it's -2, it's a 3, which would be a retreat, which doesn't work, so it goes away. And I just go ahead and move adjacent to Dupnostric. This is why I was glad I gave the Romanians an extra point, because I can move this guy to there. Just sort of keeping him from just running the guy in Kharkov across the river. Then I move to the north, and we have the 4th Army move up and attacks. +3 to 0. I think we have combat commitment. And neither one of us did. I thought about throwing in the airplane and said, nah. I rolled a 3 + 3, which is a 6. He rolled a 6. So then I had to attack again. This time I did go ahead and commit. I went ahead and threw the airplane in for a sortie. So I'd be +5 to 0. I thought for sure he was going to throw a tank there just to gun all my works. I rolled a 9. He rolled a 4. So I was done, but he was flipped. And then I thought about it. I said, well, let's go take care of this first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gives me 2 movement points, and I start off at +4 to 0. Neither one of us committed. I got a 6, he rolled a 2, so he was flipped. So I spent my last 2, +4 to -2. No one committed. I rolled a 3 + 4 is a 7, and at -2, no matter what he gets, he has to retreat, and he can't, so he's kaputted. And I didn't take the hex because I wanted to be further forward there. And then this infantry. I realized that I had left Estonia open to this infantry unit just running down and capturing Tallinn and Riga again, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to attack. +1 to his 0. Neither one of us committed there. I rolled a grand total of 5, figuring I wasn't going to get anything. He rolled a 2, so he retreated. So there's that. Then I went ahead and moved the 11th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One attack here, essentially. 2 movement points left. I'm a net +3 to his -2. Neither one was committed. I only rolled a 4, so I was figuring I'm really gummed up here. But he rolled a 3. -2 is a 1, which is a retreat, which he cannot do. So another dead unit. And if you take a quick gander here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 armies I've knocked out in October. I have been wildly successful. I thought about taking the hex, and I said, no, I think I'm going to go 1, 2. So I had 2 movement points left and get on the river there to that guy that's in the bend. Just trying to form up some sort of line because I know the best I'm going to get is poor weather next turn. Then I go ahead and fire off the armored unit. So I have 7 movement points left. I believe I'm attacking the 11th there in the swamp. And that's because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're outside of range for both of our airplanes. So and I think he's the only one that can commit. And he went ahead and put a tanks marker out there, so it's +3 to +2. I rolled an 8, and he rolled a 1. +2 is a 3. And an 8 to a 3 is a DD. So I managed to continue my successful die rolls. I went ahead and took the hex and attacked him again, because now I'm plus... And he went into the woods because I'd only be +3 and not +4. It was -2. And then I was a 6, but he rolled a 2. -2 is a 1, so that's to a 1, so he's DD'd, so that guy is eliminated. I took the no enemy zone of control space. I have 4 movement points left, so I went ahead and moved there and attacked the infantry because I figured if he would retreat... Did I attack the infantry? Yes. What am I doing? Oh, we have an air combat going on here. He's -3 sorties, I'm -3 net as well. So it's like if I can roll a 6, I might get 2 on him. He's going to, and he would have to roll obviously low. I did roll my 6, -3. So I need him to roll like a 4 or less, and he rolled a 5. So we each only took 1 sortie. We both were in the combat. We are attacking the 27th here. So I am +5 to his +2. I rolled a 6, and he rolled a 6. So nothing happened. So then I was like, okay, well, let's go do this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 movement points left. And I'm attacking at, starting off at +4, -1 for the swamp. He starts off at 0. He can throw his airplane in. For some reason he didn't. I'm not sure why. Yes, he did. Okay. I think we both just kind of mutually agreed that we were going to throw all our assets here. So it's +5 to +2. He throws in his airplane. And I rolled a 5 + 5 is a 10, and he rolled a 7. Would have liked to see one of his 1s there, but... So he was only flipped. Then I attack again. And the best I can do is attack at +3 this time. And I can't remember if he... Don't think he bothered to throw his airplane at this point. And I managed to roll a dismal 4, and even a 5 -2 is a 3, so I did not force him to retreat. And I thought about this. I could have played it conservative. I could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just saved my armor. But that's not me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Attacking at +3. He throws in his last airplanes. +3 to 0. And I rolled a 3 + 3 is a 6. And he rolled a 5. He needed a 5 or a 6 to live. If I take that, if I knock that army out, then I think I see a wholesale retreat on the Russian front. Because I didn't, I'm going to see the exact opposite here. So, I think that was it. I'm just done. I didn't do anything in the Mediterranean because, I mean, I've got the best defensive line I can have down here against the West. So I just saved what few points I had left. I had 10. I had 10 points left. That should be 3 airplanes and maybe flipping over somebody if he flips it instead. So we ended up... I went into low supply there. Because I didn't break through, and that's going to cost me here when we get to that. The British are getting antsy here. So they do an assault to try and push the 6th Army away. Throws his tanks, throws his airplane. So he's 1 for British, 1 for a tank. That's 2. 1 for an airplane is 3. Plus a buddy is 4. -2, so it's +2 to +2. He rolls a 7. I rolled a 6, so nothing happens. Big waste of time. Then he goes and picks up the 9th Army that's in the Western Indian Ocean, and we've counted this out numerous times. As far as it can get is into Sea Zone 22, and he just went ahead and stopped at Malta. And then he did his supply, I believe, and he was done. And so now we go over to the Soviets. And this is where, because my armor was cut off, this is where bad things happen to me. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he has 3 movement points left. He starts off at +2 because I'm isolated. And I'm only at +2. And he rolls a 7. I roll a 6. I'm like, okay, I'm holding so far. And so he attacks again. He rolls a 6. What did he roll? Oh no, he rolled a 7 again, and I rolled a 6. So then he moved up the guy out of Velaluki, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5. So he has 2 attacks here. He rolls a 7, and I finally fail my die roll. I roll a 4, which flips the armored unit. So now he's +2 to my 0. He rolls a 3. I rolled a 3, so I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth. He brings down this guy. Attacks. Again at +2 to 0. Oh no, he chose not to do that. He chose to attack at 0 to 0. That's right. He wanted to leave that guy up there to not let me get across on the rail line at all. So he attacked with the guy that's in the swamp, because he can have several attacks at 0 to 0. His first die roll was a 4. I managed to roll a 2, so I'm eliminated. And I lose a will point, and then he goes ahead and tries to figure out where he wants to move it. We thought about it. I think he ends up with it in Velaluki in the long run. In the end, when he starts trying to figure out where he wants his line, he moves it back into Velaluki. And I was showing him how far the Romanian could get, so that I couldn't actually get across the straits and take his city because the Africa army is at low supply and the Romanian can't reach there. I could run a panzer all the way down there, but I think he almost would actually welcome the panzer being way down there. So this is him trying to figure out where he's going to put his line. It's just him trying to figure out where to move everybody. A lot of shenanigans there. And then finally, as you'll see, he ended up moving the guy back to Velaluki. He was worried about me moving up and isolating this guy, and I'm like, it's going to be poor weather. I get one attack. Maybe I kill him, maybe I don't. And then I leave a big hole in my line. So he kind of saw it that way too. There was nothing to do in the no supply phase. Went to replacements. The Axis go ahead and do their. I forgot to move my Yugoslav, and he let me go ahead and move him. Then I do my airplanes. It's replacements. Western. He's just going to go do his convoys and airplanes. And then I think we're back over to the Soviets, and he's doing his airplanes, and flips over his guy that's in Velaluki. There are no upgrades. Mobilization. I actually have a point that I can spend, so I go ahead and build my garrison. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to put him. Put him in Königsberg. The Soviets, they had 3 units left that they could build. Just put one in Kharkov, one in Smolensk, and then one in Depnostruk. Actually, moved the one in Kharkov to Kursk, I think. And we're at the end of the turn phase. Not a whole lot for me, but there is a whole lot for the Western Allies and the Russians. I got a surface section of my submarines and my tanks marker back. He gets his tanks from both, gets an ultra marker, and then he gets 3 shock units to be able to build. And 8. I actually knocked out 8 Russian armies in that October turn, which brings my total up in 4 clear weather turns to 23 armies destroyed. That's pretty amazing. And the Romanians have been responsible for 3 of those. Which is also very amazing. And then, of course, the British Lend-Lease, so they get an extra factory. So they're up to 5. So even though I've taken him down 4 factories, he's still 1 ahead of where he starts. Because he's 9. He's got 5 and 5, so he's still going to have 10. He's going to have 20. Again, I took away a factory and didn't affect his production. And we move to November 41. And as is our wont, we roll the weather before we leave, and it is a 5-3-1. So it is severe in the cold, stays poor in the mild zone, and now the British have fair weather in the down by the boot and heel of Italy, which doesn't bode well for the Germans. And the fact that we have severe weather means I can make absolutely no headway. I was hoping for poor because then I might be able to get off a decent assault on maybe Velaluki or Depnostruk or something, and capture another city, get away, push him back from reinforcement cities kind of thing, but that's not to be. And that's the end of this turn. So, wildly successful German October, but the Russians have just enough units to keep me from doing anything. I can't strategically move anything up to take advantage of this, what looks to be a bit of a hole here outside of Bryansk, and he will be able to strategically redeploy somebody from somewhere, wherever he chooses to move them from. So I'm across the Depnostruk, or the Dnieper rather, somewhat in the center, and I did do a snatch on Sevastopol. He moved up to make sure that I have to move my guy back to get back in supply. So annoying, but that's the way it's going to be. And yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, but I'm looking at 4 severe weather turns, and 3 of those the Russians will be poor in the Russian winter. So I have a feeling that I may not hold on to the far side of the Dnieper, and I may actually be beaten all the way back to the Duna. I don't know. I don't know how well I can hold in the north without that armored unit. So that was a debacle. Anyway, there we have it. That is the October 1941 turn of the German diplomatic disaster. As always, I am Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so it stays up in the YouTube algorithms for people to stay up and watch. And until we meet again next session, stay safe and bye-bye.